Sung Jin Woo's health was only a little, but with no fatigue, he felt better than ever. He just didn't know if there were enough monsters here to level up. Swarms of insects crawled out of the ground, opening their mouths towards Sung Jin Woo. He didn't need to run like last time. He jumped onto the head of one of the bugs and stabbed its brain with his short knife. The countdown clock for the punitive mission began. Only 4 hours remained. The monsters that used to be nightmares for him were now minor issues for Sung Jin Woo. After a battle, he meticulously cleared all the pests and continuously leveled up a few times. His health and megapixel were fully restored. At this moment, there were 3 minutes and 19 seconds left until the punishment time. Just enough time to prepare. There was only one problem: the impenetrable fangs of the Iron Knight. He needed a stronger weapon, so he decided to unlock the weapons bank. He chose a short sword named Assassin Knight, despite its high price of 2 million won. Though expensive, its effects were well worth it, dealing an additional 20% damage to heavily armored opponents. He also bought a cloth band to securely fasten the weapon to his hand, preventing it from slipping away like before on the battlefield. With his equipment shopping completed, he took out the new knee spirit stone he had obtained from the Red Knight's corpse, slain during the Home Hao-theme kill. The spirit stone helped him learn the stealth skill. This time he gained the skill Lord's Hand, a passive skill that didn't consume megapixel and could exert force on objects without direct contact. Sung Jin Woo immediately thought of the spirit-sucking skill of the Red Knight and felt like he had found a treasure. He raised his hand to draw the attention of the giant truncated from the corpse, but as he wasn't proficient with it yet, the corpse remained motionless. At this moment, the system announced that the punishment time was about to end, and they would return to the starting point. Sung Jin Woo was fully prepared, with only luck left to rely on. He returned to the temple to change his profession. Just a few hours into the new profession, the Iron Knight's guild chat was already crowded. He saw virtual enemies approaching, and, thanks to his thorough preparation and personal level, Sung Jin Woo easily decimated the Iron Knights. The Assassin Knight's short sword proved more effective than his bare hands. It wasn't surprising. Although Sung Jin Woo had defeated many Iron Knights, he hadn't gained any experience. Meanwhile, the mages in the background continued chanting spells without attacking. They were summoning mages. Over time, knights continuously appeared from the gate, but they weren't proactive. Killing them felt like slaying lifeless bodies, so there was no experience gain. Among them was the summoner Kia. Sung Jin Woo leaped over the knights, flew past them, and threw his weapon directly at the mage. When the mage died, the summoned knights also fell. However, Sung Jin Woo still had to find the remaining mages. He immediately activated the stealth skill to attract the attention of the observing eyes. Although Sung Jin Woo's position was exposed, it also revealed the positions of the mages. Summoned creatures were difficult to deal with. In a flash, the entire Iron Knight Hall was summoned. They only needed to hide behind the knights and attack stealthily. All their elaborate spells were futile against their keen eyes. Despite Sung Jin Woo's position being exposed, it also revealed the positions of the mages. He used the Lord's Hand skill to summon the short sword and jumped straight at a mage. With a few slashes, he defeated him. Then he rushed at the remaining 4 and slaughtered all the Iron Knights along the way. With the Assassin Knight's short sword in hand, iron was cut like soil. Sung Jin Woo also used the new skill, Lord's Hand, with proficiency. With a flick, he crushed the head of an Iron Knight from a distance. In no time, bodies piled up under his feet. Suddenly, an Iron Knight stabbed him in the back. Sung Jin Woo immediately turned around and decapitated him. Suppressing the pain, he withdrew his sword and roared at the mages, "How long do you plan to hide?" He teleported in front of a mage and eliminated him with a sword strike. the remaining 3 mages felt desperate and changed their tactics, focusing on slamming their hands into the ground to summon a giant formation. The pile of bodies under Sung Jin Woo's feet suddenly liquefied and reformed into a giant iron knight. Although terrifyingly powerful, its speed was extremely slow. Sung Jin Woo, though expensive, was well worth the effect. He jumped onto its head, activating the weak point skill to instantly eliminate it. Many mages also harmed themselves. Sung Jin Woo easily found the remaining 3 mages and swiftly killed them with sword strikes. When they died, the iron knights in the hall collapsed like marionettes without strings. The system announced that all the monsters in the trial had been eliminated and the mission to change professions had ended. Based on your level increase, you can switch to a higher level profession. The system will analyze the player's guild activity and assign the most suitable profession for you in terms of effectiveness. It was a bit surprising, as Sung Jin Woo thought he would choose his profession himself. However, he realized that his main attributes were strength and agility. Therefore, he could either choose to be a powerful warrior, a swift assassin, or a bloodthirsty tank. Sung Jin Woo hoped for the assassin profession the most. Anyway, he was stronger now. A while later, the system's analysis results appeared. Players always found themselves surrounded by magical energy. The path players walked through was littered with corpses, reeking of blood. Moreover, players thirsted for extraordinary power, relying not on teammates but on clearing their own path. Your thirst for power is enough to summon souls wandering in the valley of death. This undead army will be absolute for you, not relying on anyone else, but serving only you. Sung Jin Woo stood in awe. He never expected this profession. Night Shadow Mage, entirely unexpected. Although it didn't increase his intelligence at all, the system analysis still resulted in him becoming a Night Shadow Mage. According to the system, the Night Shadow Mage could summon a powerful magical army, truly terrifying. But what did this have to do with Sung Jin Woo? He used assassination weapons and gained skills similar to an assassin's. The mage profession didn't enhance his own strength, rendering combat skills and attributes useless. Fortunately, it wasn't mandatory. The system still gave Sung Jin Woo the option to accept or reject. Without hesitation, Sung Jin Woo chose to reject. However, the system warned him that the Night Shadow Mage was a hidden profession. Are you sure you want to refuse? This made Sung Jin Woo hesitate. Opportunities for hidden professions were scarce. Legend has it that the leader of the S-rank guild, Bakho Baekyu-ho, possessed the ability to transform into monsters. Such special hunters all joined large guilds, holding enviable power. Sung Jin Woo looked at the corpses of the Night Shadow Mages on the ground. Although they were weak themselves, the summoned knights nearly killed him. Compared to them, Sung Jin Woo still had fighting spirit and strength. A mage with excellent combat abilities and its own army could conquer up to B-rank dungeons alone. The ability was influenced by skill level and status. This meant not just Sung Jin Woo, but his entire army would level up. Sung Jin Woo grew more excited the more he thought about it. He decided to accept the system's profession and confirmed the next step. Calculating survival time and converting it into upgrade points, Sung Jin Woo exceeded the system's expectations. Because he didn't use any items to return, he gained extra points. With his health still above 50%, he earned additional points. And by defeating all enemies, he gained extra points. The total upgrade points exceeded the achievement limit. From the Night Shadow Mage, Sung Jin Woo transitioned to the Shadow Emperor. Dark energy enveloped him from all sides as he mastered the skills of the profession, earning additional rewards and the title of victor in adverse circumstances. Achieving a certain level in dungeons would provide the opportunity to transform into the final form. The warrior's final form is a war god, the knight's is a holy sword, the mage is a grand mage. And Sung Jin Woo's Night Shadow Mage became the Shadow Emperor. Some took a lifetime to reach that level, but Sung Jin Woo achieved it in just one day. He felt the groans of agony from around him, on the corpses of the Iron Knights. The system announced that it could extract their shadows. Sung Jin Woo suddenly understood. That was the ability of the Night Shadow Mage, extracting shadows from corpses to become their master. The system prompted him to designate an activation command for the shadow extraction skill. Sung Jin Woo hesitated for a moment, then commanded the Iron Knights to stand up. A black hand emerged from a corpse and slowly rose, revealing a complete shadow before him. The Shadow Emperor was truly magnificent. Just a command to stand up, and it could be resurrected. The fallen warrior became a shadow obedient without conditions. One warrior was ready. With his current level, Sung Jin Woo could extract 30 shadows at once, but could only maintain 20, meaning he had to release 11 to make room for the Red Knight. Released shadows would return to the invisible world and couldn't be summoned again. This made Sung Jin Woo feel guilty. He approached the Red Knight, ordered it to rise, but a powerful force of darkness rushed in. The system reported the extraction failure. Whether shadows could be extracted depended on the opponent's strength and time of death. The Red Knight was a boss level and had been dead for over 4 hours. It was too difficult to control such a creature. Furthermore, Sung Jin Woo only had 3 chances. If he failed all 3 times, he would lose the link with this soul. Sung Jin Woo tried a second time, but still failed. Only 1 chance left. Finally, he looked at the empty throne. Everyone had left. What's the point of guarding that empty throne? Or should I come to protect you standing in front of me? Stand up, my warrior, stand up. Endless darkness poured from his body. The Red Knight's corpse gradually soaked up and formed into a new body. Oigris, commander of the Bloodchain Knights, knelt before Sung Jin Woo with the Knight's ceremony. The other shadows also knelt down like soldiers before the Emperor. Sung Jin Woo stepped out of the teleportation gate, realizing that it was already morning the next day. He had overslept and was awakened by a call from his younger sister reminding him that he had to be at the school in 5 hours for a parent-teacher meeting. He suddenly remembered that today was the appointment for parent-teacher meetings at the school. He hurriedly got up, washed his face, thinking that this was his first time attending as a parent, so he had to dress formally. He went to the bank to withdraw money, and the bank teller was amazed when she saw his balance of 1 billion. Hunters make so much money, huh? This guy must be at a high level, she thought. Then she happily prepared the investment product for him. After preparing himself, Sung Jin Woo went to the school. His younger sister almost didn't recognize him. His hairstyle and suit were completely different from before. The students looked at him, wondering who he was. They couldn't forget such a handsome student. Was he a new transfer student? The homeroom teacher arrived and was surprised to see Sung Jin Woo. She thought hunters were all muscular men and didn't expect such a handsome young man. She invited Sung Jin Woo to sit down and reassured him not to worry. She said that his younger sister, Gina, was academically excellent and well-behaved. Her goal was to get into a prestigious university, and her recent test results were very good. Sung Jin Woo didn't need to pressure his sister. Then the teacher suddenly switched to asking Sung Jin Woo, "I heard you're a hunter. If Gina is determined to become a hunter, would you let her?" Sung Jin Woo was stunned, then decisively said that he wouldn't let his sister become a hunter. Hearing this, the teacher breathed a sigh of relief. She informed Sung Jin Woo that recently there was a student who was identified as awakened and wanted to drop out of school. Now he didn't even come to school anymore, and if he continued to skip, the school would have to take measures. The teacher couldn't understand. Hunters only felt pity. If someone dropped out of school because of being a hunter, at least they should graduate first. Why not pursue another profession? Sung Jin Woo asked what level of awakening the student was. The teacher said it was rumored to be the lowest level. Sung Jin Woo had a bad feeling. A level E hunter didn't live long in the first dungeon. The teacher said that it was Jin-e's friend, named Hansong Yi. Sung Jin Woo was startled. He didn't know the person, but the name sounded familiar. It was the kid in the exploration team, the small rich guy in the world. As soon as Sung Jin Woo left the school, he met Hansong Yi. She was surprised and asked him what he was doing here. Sung Jin Woo immediately showed her the photo taken with Gina. Hansong Yi understood the reason Sung Jin Woo was here, advising her. She said to forget about advising her. She wasn't interested in mixed education and didn't want to give up being a hunter. As Sung Jin Woo predicted, he didn't advise her to quit the profession. Instead, he said he would help her become an excellent hunter. Sung Jin Woo understood young people like her. If she didn't experience the cruelty and coldness of reality firsthand, she would never understand it. After many years, he set foot in his home country again, having abandoned himself to South Korea. The S-rank hunter, Hwang Dong-suk, was terrifying. Even the nation and the law couldn't restrain them. Because of his brother's death, Hwang Dong-suk especially returned to South Korea after many years of absence, not afraid to violate international law just to seek revenge on the one who killed his brother. For such monsters, South Korea dared not be negligent. Their every move had to be monitored 24/7. The personnel sent this time included the head of surveillance and the head of hunters. Obviously, Hwang Dong-suk knew the head of hunters. He taunted him, saying that he didn't want to communicate much with this monster, so he directly addressed the issue. It was because of the E-rank hunter, Sung Jin Woo, and the D-rank hunter, Yoo Jin-ho, that he returned to his homeland and was abandoned. Isn't this South Korea, not a place for outsiders to roam freely? Hwang Dong-suk's eyes gleamed red. Indeed, the surveillance department was quick with information. But Kwok should not underestimate him like that. Even with him alone, he wanted to stop them. The head of surveillance remained calm and smiled faintly. You don't try, how do you know? Seeing the head of surveillance so courageous, Hwang Dong-suk admired him. He wanted to invite him to join the Thanlok Guild in America, promising better treatment than now. But the head of surveillance still remained calm, even disliking Hwang Dong-suk's character. Before, his brother was Hwang Dong-suk, who had received many complaints from the residents. But because of Hwang Dong-suk's power, it couldn't be investigated smoothly. This Hwang Dong-suk was also like his brother, a social trash, killing people without remorse. Sung Jin Woo took Hansong Yi to an abandoned village. He contacted the branch manager of the Backhoe Guild, wanting to visit the Tambin training area. The branch manager was very pleased with Sung Jin Woo's proactive contact and immediately agreed, sending an assistant to welcome him at the scene. They wanted to introduce their excellent training system, hoping to create a good impression on Sung Jin Woo. The guild's guide was meticulous. This abandoned village was perfect for opening a C-rank gate. At this time, a muscular man walked over, and a man in full armor interrupted him. He was very uncomfortable with Sung Jin Woo's sudden appearance, thinking he was a member of some group coming to play in the dungeon. Team leader explained to Sung Jin Woo that this person's name was Kim Kun, a defense warrior specializing in absorbing damage, according to his physique. This attack team consisted of a defense warrior, 7 level B, and 4 level C hunters. Sung Jin Woo was slightly surprised that such a large formation was for a C-rank gate. Wasn't that a bit too much? But the team leader didn't think so. No matter how high the rank, there were still newcomers who needed to get used to the guild rules and accumulate dungeon experience. Sung Jin Woo thought that playing in such a team would be too easy, and the effectiveness might be reduced, but it was still good. In this way, Hansong Yi would realize the gap between him and other hunters, knowing how helpless E-rank hunters were in dungeons. The assistant whispered to Sung Jin Woo, telling him that this was too easy for him. Today, he just needed to stand outside and watch. Han Sung-yi was excited and couldn't wait, but Sung Jin Woo still followed Han Sung-yi inside. As he entered, he suddenly felt uneasy. The team leader and the assistant noticed that the gate was undergoing something strange. From initially being green, it turned into a strange red color. Sung Jin Woo felt the space vibrating, different from every time he had gone through the gate. His whole body resisted, instinctively warning him of danger and urging him to leave immediately. But it was too late. Powerful energy sucked him in. Before disappearing, he strained to look towards the team leader, urgently calling the main attack team, and then was engulfed in a deep red abyss. The team leader had never been so panicked. This couldn't be solved just by calling the main attack team. He directly contacted the head of the association, Baek-Yoon-ho, reporting the red gate. Upon hearing this, the head's face turned horrified, slamming the table and standing up. How could a red gate appear in a C-rank dungeon? If that's the case, I must see with my own eyes what's happening. In a luxury car, the S-rank hunter Hwang Dong-seok was sitting comfortably in the back seat, while the S-rank hunter Yoo Jin-chul drove. The head asked if they needed to go to the funeral home to pay respects to his deceased brother. Hwang Dong-seok coldly replied, "I don't care about the dead. Those trash that killed my brother are more interesting to me." Through information technology, he knew that Sung Jin Woo had just entered the dungeon. His eyes gleamed with a reddish light. He told the head to take him to the dungeon where Sung Jin Woo was. Sung Jin Woo was in there. Then he said, "The laws inside the dungeon and the outside world are different. You can't interfere with who I kill in there." Yoo Jin-chul said, "The red gate usually only appears in high-rank dungeons. I didn't expect it to appear in a low-rank dungeon like this." The head hunter Yoo Jin-ho, also known as Truon Fong, said, "The red gate usually only appears in high-rank dungeons. I didn't expect it to appear in a low-rank dungeon like this." Sung Jin Woo looked around, but didn't see anything unusual. Or was it a gateway to another world? While thinking, 2 arrows pierced straight towards them. When they were about to hit Han Sung-yi, Sung Jin Woo pulled her aside. Unfortunately, the other person wasn't as lucky. The arrow went straight into his brain. Everyone panicked and was ambushed. They were on trees. It was the ice elves. Sung Jin Woo suddenly understood. So these monsters weren't new to him. Arrows shot from afar, and he couldn't sense their presence. Those who hadn't encountered them called them ice elves, but to the hunters who had faced them, they had a completely different name. White devils. It represented their cruel pursuit. These monsters were quite intelligent, targeting soft targets. Baek-Yoon-ho, the head of the Backho Guild, had to personally go to the rescue scene. But even he was helpless. The entrance was completely blocked. He asked the head hunter behind him if they had contacted the association. The head replied that they had, but the other side said that this was just a C-rank gate, pretending not to know. The head was angry and cursed them internally. But even the S-rank hunters were powerless. Normally, the red gate would only appear in high-rank dungeons. Behind it was another world, unassailable from the outside. Only the gate would open itself. Judging by the energy density, this gate was at least B rank. Unfortunately, it could be A rank or higher, but it definitely couldn't be S rank. The appearance of an S rank gate would plunge the entire country into a crisis. But even A rankers had no hope of survival. Fortunately, 2 or 3 high-rank hunters might escape. The head of the association asked seriously about the rank of the other hunter. Was it A or B rank? The head of the association shook his head. Could it be S rank? But he answered seriously. It's an E rank hunter who just stepped into the dungeon. If it were 2 months ago, Sung Jin Woo would have been one of the first targets to be hunted down. Seeing his arrow being blocked, the white devil grinned with satisfaction, looking at Sung Jin Woo mockingly, raising his thumb to taunt him. Sung Jin Woo felt provoked, crushing the sword in his hand, swearing to catch them himself. The A-rank team leader told everyone seriously, "Perhaps you haven't noticed yet. We're inside a red gate. We either kill the final boss or die here, or wait for the dungeon to lose control and open the gate. Before that, the gate won't open. Even if there are rescue teams, they won't be able to enter. In other words, now we can only fight on our own." The team captain stepped forward solemnly, introducing himself and stating that he would take responsibility for everyone's lives. However, he couldn't guarantee that everyone would survive. They had to wait until the dungeon lost control, which could take several months. There was no assurance that everyone would survive. The difficulty of the Red Gate was at least B rank, filled with danger that led many people to struggle. Therefore, he decided to form a separate group to act with him. Those who stay behind might freeze to death or be killed by the enemies. He asked if anyone wanted to join. Bold individuals stepped forward, and of course, there were those who followed. Moreover, in this dangerous dungeon, it was safer to be with high-ranking individuals. People kept joining the team, except for those with low ranks. He didn't want to take anyone with him who might become a burden in the worst-case scenario. He told the weaker individuals not to despair, because if they survived until they defeated the final boss, they could also leave safely. At that moment, a beautiful girl interrupted the conversation, declaring that she wanted to join Sung Jin Woo's team. Inside the captain's heart, he wondered what this girl was thinking, but outwardly he remained calm and told her she was free to do so. Then he turned to the other group, saying there was one more spot available, and they could take one more person. The person who had been rejected earlier immediately stepped forward to claim the spot. Although the strong ones followed the A-rank captain, Sung Jin Woo still worried about them. When the arrows flew, even the captain didn't detect them. Only the sharp-eyed girl did. Her intuition told her it was safer to be with Sung Jin Woo, so she joined his weaker team outside the teleportation gate. The team captain told the guild leader that he always kept secrets from Sung Jin Woo to gain his trust. Sung Jin Woo might be waking up for the second time, but it was just a guess and he wasn't sure. Instead of relying on a mysterious figure, the guild leader trusted Kim Kun, the A-rank hunter, more. In the aesthetic supervisor's mind, if the guild leader personally met Sung Jin Woo, he would surely understand. The trendsetter department head affirmed to the guild leader that Kim Kun would be fine. His training results were excellent, and his combat power was on par with the elite attack team of the guild. Contrary to what they said, E-rank hunter Sung Jin Woo faced hunters with unclear identities. Clearly, our Kim Kun is more trustworthy. The aesthetic supervisor sneered disdainfully. This guy often competes and boasts in the guild. But now he's lowering himself to elevate himself. But who's right and who's wrong will be clear when there are results. Suddenly, a luxury car stopped, and Hwang Dong-suk and the monitoring supervisor got out. Seeing Hwang Dong-suk's expression, the guild leader became serious. The two supervisors were stunned. This guy was an S-rank hunter of the Thanlok Guild. Why was he here? Hwang Dong-suk looked at the guild leader with a malicious smile. "It's been a long time since I met Baek-yeon-ho." The guild leader's face stiffened. His blonde hair suddenly turned white. He asked if Hwang Dong-suk was in the US. Not only did he come back to the country, but he also appeared in Baek-ho's territory. Hwang Dong-suk asked back, saying he wanted to ask him why he wanted to recruit that guy into the Baek-ho guild. Baek-yeon-ho, puzzled, asked who. Hwang Dong-suk said it was Jack, the E-rank hunter. Sung Jin Woo and Baek-yeon-ho were shocked by this turn of events. How did Hwang Dong-suk know Sung Jin Woo? Who is he that even an S-rank hunter betrayed the country to find him? On the other side, Sung Jin Woo was a bit surprised. Despite being a newcomer, the girl remained calm in the face of unexpected events. She explained to him that the first lesson of the Baek-ho Guild for newcomers was that anything could happen in the dungeon. and they had to remain calm and find a way to survive. That was for newcomers. As for high-ranking hunters, like Kim Kun, who received special training, he was about to join the elite attack team of the guild. They split into two groups to move into the forest. The girl curiously asked about Sung Jin Woo's rank, but he didn't answer because he didn't even know his own rank. The girl guessed he was at least C rank, maybe B rank. On the other side, Kim Kun was still angry that the girl left his team. He didn't understand why someone would give up the protection of the strong to join the team of an E-rank hunter. Most of them were C rank, with the highest being B rank. Suddenly, he felt strange. Why did he assume that Sung Jin Woo was the captain of the other group? Anyway, he was just someone about to die. Anne, the bank heiress, raised her battle kite and ordered to start fighting because the C-rank gate had been altered, trapping the hunters inside and forcing them to fight on their own. As the team captain, Kim Kun gathered the high-ranking members into a separate group, leaving the low-ranking team to survive on their own. Just as they entered the land of white bears, one rushed forward with sharp teeth and claws aimed at the captain. But it only hit the shield, and its claws broke, causing it to roar in pain. The captain threw the shield away and cleaved the bear with an axe. The members were amazed by his strength. Truly, an A-rank hunter was reliable. The red gate was nothing. The team captain was very pleased with everyone's flattering words, but his expression remained serious. Anne, the bank heiress, spoke up, reminding everyone not to be complacent until they escaped from the situation. She ordered to butcher the bear for food, as they would have to fight for a long time. Feeling proud that they were able to defeat the bears because of him, she speculated that the other group must have become prey for the bears by now. On Sung Jin Woo's side, they arrived at another forest area. The girl warned everyone to stop, as they were entering the territory of white bears and should retreat before getting surrounded. However, Sung Jin Woo had a different idea and decided to advance into the forest. The girl couldn't understand why he was seeking death. Sung Jin Woo explained that if it was the territory of bears, they only needed to worry about bears. Compared to the intelligent white monsters, bears were easier to deal with. The girl then understood that with many bears, it meant that no monster in the forest could threaten them, implying that they didn't need to fear creatures more dangerous than bears inside. Seeing the girl dressed lightly, Sung Jin Woo took out a sweater from his spatial magic bag and gave it to her. The girl was astonished, as such magic bags could usually only summon 2 or 3 low-grade items, but Sung Jin Woo summoned many. She asked who he was and how he possessed spatial magic, which not even Han Song-li knew about. Sung Jin Woo patted the girl's head and told her he brought her here, so she had the responsibility to protect her. However, she couldn't ask anything else. Then he turned to everyone else and instructed them not to ask him anything or demand anything from him. At that moment, a giant scaled bear appeared, exuding a fierce aura, growling at the intruders. Everyone was afraid of its imposing presence. Although Sung Jin Woo had said they only needed to worry about bears, this one was a high-level monster in the dungeon, and facing it would be like suicide for them. The girl attempted to stop it, but Sung Jin Woo pulled her back, stating that he had told her to let him handle the monsters and experience shouldn't be wasted. He then approached the bear, changing his title to the Shadow Monarch. The bear swiped its claws, but they only hit air as Sung Jin Woo had appeared above its head without notice, delivering a devastating punch that deformed its head with a loud thud, causing it to collapse. Everyone was stunned by the power of a single punch that defeated a high-level monster. They sat around the fire, enjoying the roasted bear meat. After clearing the bear's den, no bears dared to approach them anymore. Sung Jin Woo stood up and ordered them to exercise. Otherwise, they would be punished. Everyone was surprised to exercise right inside the teleportation gate. Sung Jin Woo was indeed a strange person. Even though they were no longer afraid of being punished inside the penalty zone, If they entered it, no one would protect the team anymore. Therefore, he could only take advantage of the time inside the teleportation gate to exercise. After finishing the exercises, he jumped away to an area filled with white bear corpses and began training. He called out, summoning the endless darkness from his body, from which shadow warriors emerged. Sung Jin Woo wanted to see their strength. He commanded them like an emperor, ordering them to fight for him. This was the first time he had summoned them, and he wondered who would win in their battle. In the battle with the high-level white bear, he was eagerly anticipating it. The two sides clashed, with the infantry charging forward to attack the bear first. Despite being hit, the bear regenerated. Behind them, the mages continuously cast spells to burn the bear, powerful flames that destroyed it, but the bear quickly recovered. Then the bear was completely overwhelmed, making Sung Jin Woo satisfied. However, his mana was being depleted too quickly. At that moment, a giant scarred bear appeared, seeming like it could wipe out the shadows with a single blow. Although it could regenerate, Sung Jin Woo's mana was quickly depleting. Once his mana was gone, the shadows couldn't be resurrected. But Sung Jin Woo still had one trick up his sleeve. He instructed the black mite next to him to take his turn. Following Igris' orders, he attacked. The mite swiftly dodged the bear's claws, slashing a long cut on its shoulder. The bear roared in pain, and the knight appeared behind it, thrusting his sword through its other arm, then reappearing under the bear's belly, severing its two legs. In Sung Jin Woo's astonishment, the bear, wounded, lost its ability to fight, only able to roar in agony. The black mite charged forward, swinging his sword to decapitate the bear, then presented its head to Sung Jin Woo, before kneeling before him, following the mite's etiquette. His graceful demeanor left Sung Jin Woo stunned. He remembered his battle with Igris before. If Igris had used his sword then, Sung Jin Woo wouldn't have had any chance. Even now, Sung Jin Woo wasn't confident he could defeat him. He patted the exhausted mite on the shoulder, then ordered him to stand up from the bear's corpse. Another giant black bear emerged, accompanied by many bear cubs. Seeing the second boss appear, Sung Jin Woo smiled with satisfaction, knowing that choosing to be a shadow magician was the right decision. Inside the red teleportation gate, time flowed differently from the outside. It had been 3 days inside, but only 3 hours had passed outside. They guessed that all hunters below B rank must have died inside. Not only did they have to face the harsh environment, but they also had to search for food. Eating high-level monster corpses was impossible for them. Wang Dong-seok couldn't wait patiently any longer. After a journey where he stood waiting like this, he contemplated leaving when he thought of Sung Jin Woo. Sung Jin Woo wasn't a member of Batco, so why was he at the transfer gate? The department head and his assistant were sweating profusely. The department head explained that he had known Sung Jin Woo for a long time and that he wanted to join a high-income Group C battle, so he had asked for help. However, Wang Dong-seok wasn't easily fooled. He suddenly appeared in front of the department head and tightened his grip around his neck, asking what he was hiding. The guild master grabbed Wang Dong-seok's hand, his eyes full of sternness, and ordered him to let go. Wang Dong-seok, with a wicked smile, retorted, "You think you can order me around? You're not qualified to give me orders." Seeing that he wasn't backing down, the guild master emitted a powerful aura and asked if he wanted to fight. Wang Dong-seok replied, "I'm ready." The department head felt that things were turning sour. If this continued, it would lead to a fight between two S-class hunters. On the other hand, Kim Kun was completely devastated, wandering in the cold and hungry forest. In his frustration, he was certain that there were no more white bears. They had all been killed. Only the white demons could be capable of such a feat. As he thought, he grew more afraid and ran for his life. Outside, Bae Kyun-ho's right hand emitted a growl, while Wang Dong-seok's left hand also growled. Their hands collided, and a terrible explosion ensued. Immortals clashed. Mortals suffered. Even the department head, standing at a distance, was shaken to the core. Smoke filled the air as the department head, standing between the two men, was taken aback. Wang Dong-seok was slightly surprised that he was able to withstand the attack of two S-class hunters. The department head's hand was trembling as he massaged his wrist, narrowly avoiding injury. He thanked his lucky stars that they stopped immediately. Otherwise, his arm would have been broken. He told Wang Dong-seok that he was the first to suspect Sung Jin Woo's awakening for the second time, but it had been 2 months since then. He had used a high-level awakening gem to measure Sung Jin Woo's magical power, which was still at level E. Although he was sorry for the death of the Huang family hunter, Sung Jin Woo didn't have the strength to defeat an entire attacking force. Wang Dong-seok tossed aside his black glasses and told the department head that he knew the mastermind behind the trap was the Construction Association of Ugin. Sung Jin Woo was just an excuse for him to kill. Hearing this, the department head felt disgusted, realizing that he was also an accomplice to his own brother. Feeling that there was nothing more to be gained, Wang Dong-seok shouted once and left, threatening them before leaving. The Backhoe Guild had never seen S-class hunters fighting each other before. The Backhoe department head didn't agree with the explanation of the supervising department head. Only he understood Sung Jin Woo's power and was confident he would survive. He would return through the transfer gate. Kim Kun was defeated, wandering in the cold and hungry forest. In his anger, he was sure that there were no more white bears. They had all been killed. There was no way those guys couldn't kill the bears. Only the white demons could. As he thought, he grew more afraid and ran for his life. Then he saw the group of people he had always looked down on sitting around the fire, enjoying roasted meat leisurely, wearing woolen sweaters and boots, spreading blankets, and setting up tents with various tools. He erupted in anger. It turned out they had secretly brought along so many supplies. He approached them, cursing. They had secretly stored so many resources, while his group lacked supplies and food, resulting in their complete annihilation. Seeing everyone silent, he decided to interrogate them like criminals. Who had hidden the supplies? He didn't think they were all accomplices. If anyone revealed the culprit, he wouldn't pursue the others. So who was the one hoarding equipment, abandoning their teammates in danger? He counted to 3. If they didn't confess, he would consider them all accomplices. Sung Jin Woo astonishedly ordered Iron to stop, pointing to the giant figure. That's enough, know when to stop. He thought to himself that even though he had become a shadow, he was still foolish. He began to worry about Iron's future. It was very difficult to understand how the owner could be like this. He looked back at the Black Mite, hoping to find an explanation. The Black Mite sighed and turned away. Iron looked back at the 2 dark warriors, startled. Due to Iron's high level, they only knew how to play as a crowd. Sung Jin Woo told everyone to return. The members were still missing after the battle. They asked where to return. On the white snow, a bright sphere appeared, emitting a buzzing sound. A moment later, the teleportation gate leading back to the real world opened. Sung Jin Woo pointed to the gate and said, "Let's go home." Everyone understood that the final boss had been defeated. The gate was open to return home, and they joyfully jumped up and down. Before leaving, Sung Jin Woo had one important thing to do. He looked closely at the demon rider and chanted the incantation. Stand up. Even though the demon rider is strong, he is still defeated. Under Sung Jin Woo's siege and the 2 dark warriors, after the demon rider was defeated, the teleportation gate opened. At this point, it's already 3 a.m. outside, and it's been 7 hours since the teleportation gate malfunctioned. However, inside it's been a whole week. This situation is not acceptable. The head of the protection department suggests going back first, but I stay behind to keep watch. However, the guild master refuses, as some of our members are trapped inside and he can't leave them behind. Right at this moment, the teleportation gate emits a whirring sound, and the red door slowly opens. Several figures appear from inside. The guildmaster joyfully exclaims that Kim-kun has succeeded. He did it. The three of them leave first, followed by Sung Jin Woo and Han Sung-gi. The head of the protection department raises his thumb to his mouth and shouts loudly. After the five of them leave, the teleportation gate disappears. The guildmaster seems puzzled and asks where Kim-kun is. There are only 5 people. Park Hee-jin sadly tells the guildmaster that the others have sacrificed themselves inside. The guildmaster is shocked to hear that all the high-ranking hunters have died, leaving only the low-ranking survivors. What happened inside? Anyway, they're not members of the Baekhyuho Guild. Sung Jin Woo agrees, preparing to leave as if nothing has happened. The guildmaster holds his arm, telling him to stay and chat for a bit. But Sung Jin Woo brushes him off, saying he's tired. If there are any questions, he should ask the guildmaster's guild members. The guildmaster is stunned by Sung Jin Woo's arrogance, unable to keep up with the conversation. After a moment of eye contact, the guildmaster releases Sung Jin Woo, apologizing for being too sensitive, but acknowledging that what Sung Jin Woo said is correct. After seeing Sung Jin Woo off, the guildmaster asks Park Hee-jin why Sung Jin Woo always seems so gloomy. Park Hee-jin is also unsure, saying that after catching the final boss, Sung Jin Woo said something, and he's been like that ever since. The guildmaster quickly defends Sung Jin Woo, saying that he's normally very kind-hearted. Maybe he's just exhausted this time. But the guildmaster insists that it's not the issue. The problem is why they haven't accepted him into the guild yet. In front of him, Sung Jin Woo shows no fear at all. If he's like that, they must pull him into the guild at all costs. It's not just empty talk. He'll support him in every way possible to make him join. The guildmaster is surprised that despite his threats, Sung Jin Woo not only shows no fear, but also boldly opposes him. At that moment, Sung Jin Woo is very angry because his 3 attempts to summon the shadow of the Frost Monarch have all failed, making him very frustrated. Unfortunately, iron is a powerful force, but it can't do much. Fortunately, there's still a reward. After bringing Han Sung-yi back, she expresses her gratitude and says she'll meet him again. Sung Jin Woo is curious and looks at the clock, only then realizing that while they fought inside for a whole week, it was just one night outside. Today, he has an appointment to fight alongside the young master. He laughs when he arrives at the meeting point and sees the young master with fake hair and a few white beard hairs, which amuses Sung Jin Woo. Before leaving, Sung Jin Woo tells the young master to go pick up Han Sung-yi first. The young master is a bit confused. It's only been a few days since they last met, but Sung Jin Woo and Han Sung-yi are already so close. When picking her up, the smart girl asks Sung Jin Woo if she should call Han sis-in-law from now on. This question makes Sung Jin Woo awkwardly explain that Han Sung-yi is just his younger sister's friend. The demon rider smiled satisfactorily, feeling excited for the first time in a long time. Suddenly, a strange light appeared on top of the demon rider's head, pouring down, and a thunderous explosion rang out, causing chaos in heaven and earth. It was the Dark Mage's tactic, specialized in attacking behind the enemy, to extend time and awaken Kim-kun, who was unconscious. Waking up, Kim-kun remembered clearly the slap before losing consciousness, done by Sung Jin Woo. He reached for the sword next to him, holding it tightly in his hand. Sung Jin Woo didn't hope that this trick would defeat the demon rider. He shouted at the mushroom-shaped cloud, urging it to hurry up and stop pretending. How could this little injury kill him? From the sea of fire appeared. The figure of the demon rider not only showed no fear, but also smiled and rushed straight towards Sung Jin Woo. Kim-kun also woke up, his eyes filled with murderous intent as he rushed towards Sung Jin Woo with a sword in hand. The demon rider was very pleased to see a human with the same goal as his own. But he didn't know that this was a trap set by Sung Jin Woo for Kim Kun. Sung Jin Woo summoned Ice Chris, his loyal companion, and the Black Mite stabbed Kim Kun directly, causing fresh blood to spurt out. Only when Kim Kun was on the verge of death did he realize that Sung Jin Woo had foreseen everything from the beginning. Sung Jin Woo coldly shouted the familiar incantation, "Stand up." This hunter must die to understand every step of his. Every step of his was within Sung Jin Woo's calculations. The one who once boasted of his life now died and was exploited. Stand up. The incantation made Kim Kun's body scream in pain. The darkness separated from his body, transforming into a giant warrior who bowed before Sung Jin Woo. It looked much larger than before. The system reminded Sung Jin Woo to name the warrior. His living name was Kim Kun, sounding majestic, so Sung Jin Woo named him Iron. As soon as Iron appeared, he used his A-level provocation skill. He immediately attracted the attention of the demon rider, who redirected his attack towards Iron. Iron used his shield to block the blow, then swung his shield to wield his axe towards the demon rider, but he dodged easily, mocking the slow speed of Iron's defense. Suddenly, Jin Woo and the Black Mite appeared next to Iron. A cold laugh rang out. "Let's finish this." At first, Han Song-Yi didn't understand. He thought it was a normal battle between hunters, something those who had been in caves for a long time would know. This scene was as terrifying as gods and mortals fighting, something they had never witnessed. Even though they had been in caves for a long time, after Iron joined, the situation was completely reversed. The demon rider went from being proactive to passive. The Black Mite quickly approached the demon rider. He avoided the frontal attack, but was stabbed by Sung Jin Woo from behind, causing numbness and blood loss to activate. However, such an attack didn't cause serious injury to a high-level demon rider. He quickly removed the negative effects. The demon rider was angrily injured for the first time. Even though he had killed countless enemies, he told Sung Jin Woo that trash, no matter how much, was still trash and would all die here in the end. Sung Jin Woo laughed coldly, looked carefully around. "The trash you called has already destroyed the army you were proud of." The demon rider gritted his teeth in anger and rushed straight towards Sung Jin Woo. Catch the king first and then deal with the rest. Sung Jin Woo raised his hand, throwing the short sword at the demon rider. The demon rider scoffed, saying he didn't need a weapon anymore. But soon he had to slap himself. Sung Jin Woo launched magic at the controlling hand. In mid-flight, the sword's speed increased as if a turbo booster helped it smash the demon rider's weapon. Iron suddenly appeared behind him, tightly embracing the weak demon rider. The three dark mages chanted, and a giant mushroom-shaped cloud descended on the demon rider. When the smoke cleared, Iron stood still, while the demon king had escaped, leaving only burnt black clothes behind. Iron's shadow was attacked, torn into pieces. The demon rider roared, "I'll kill you all." A spray of blood erupted from him. Sung Jin Woo activated his stealth skill, stabbing the demon rider's heart. He laughed coldly. "It's over." The demon rider grabbed Sung Jin Woo's hand, growling, "Who do you think you are to end the conversation with me?" But he didn't know that Iron had recovered, holding a giant axe and staring at his back. With a thud, the axe struck down at the demon rider, slow but extremely high in damage. The demon rider lay crushed on the snow, unable to move. The system announced that the cave owner had been defeated, leveling up. Sung Jin Woo sighed, finally ending it. But the noise didn't stop. Iron still held the axe high, striking the demon rider's body. Although he asked, Kim Kun already had a suspect. It was the one who actively left the group from the beginning, plotting to ensure her own survival by sticking with a smaller group to ensure enough supplies. The main culprit was Park Yi-jin. Sung Jin Woo then slapped Kim Tun's head, making him bow down to the ground. Sung Jin Woo looked at him disdainfully, blaming him for putting their teammates in danger and then blaming others, causing more trouble. Their teammate looked at Sung Jin Woo in horror, wondering what trouble he had gotten into. Sung Jin Woo looked ahead. Although the enemy was hidden, the murderous aura was still evident. Their sword techniques were exposed. Luckily, the demon riders weren't hidden. They slowly emerged, followed by countless white demons behind them. The demon riders were somewhat surprised that their concealment was detected. It seemed that even trash could be useful. Sung Jin Woo didn't like this statement. He asked the demon riders if they were talking about him. The demon riders were astonished and asked Sung Jin Woo how he could understand their language. Sung Jin Woo was also puzzled about how he could communicate with them. Perhaps it was due to the slow system update. The demon rider pointed to the demons behind him and expressed surprise that their concealment had been detected. It's great that they could talk. He wanted to introduce Sung Jin Woo to a friend they had met before. He told them that this person was formidable and wanted to fight Sung Jin Woo. But Sung Jin Woo had already beheaded all the white demons. He took the lead and asked the demon rider if he had anything else to say. The demon rider fell silent, then smiled madly. Sung Jin Woo stabbed at the demon rider with his short sword, but was easily blocked. It seemed that a fierce battle was inevitable. The demon rider tightened the dagger in his hand, dismounted, and said he had a proposal for Sung Jin Woo, a good condition. But before that, he had a question to ask. Sung Jin Woo was not human, so why was he with humans? This question confused Sung Jin Woo. The demon rider laughed loudly, saying it seemed that Sung Jin Woo didn't know. Sung Jin Woo pondered whether it was a similar command to that of the system, except for himself. Was it because he became a player in the system? The demon rider continued, saying they didn't need to fight and didn't want to be injured for no reason. They just needed Sung Jin Woo to leave his group behind, and they would spare him. Sung Jin Woo didn't answer, but asked repeatedly who they were, where they came from, and why they were killing people. The demon rider was about to answer, but suddenly backed off, repeating the same words as before, leaving Sung Jin Woo bewildered. What was happening? Didn't want to answer, or was it a system prohibition? After the demon rider repeated the offer, Sung Jin Woo declined this time. The demon Kim frowned and asked if he wanted to fight him and his soldiers. Did Sung Jin Woo think he could make up for the numerical difference? Sung Jin Woo laughed, saying there was no gap. Suddenly, behind him was a pitch-black night, and dark warriors emerged, startling his teammates. Black bears and dark soldiers were not how they were today. Why were there enemies everywhere, yet they seemed not to care about him? He felt like someone was watching him. He turned to his terrified teammates, and the demon rider mocked Sung Jin Woo, saying they were just little tricks. Sung Jin Woo laughed coldly, asking if they were just little tricks. Oh, the two sides argued, leading to conflict. Black bears cleared the way, and infantry followed, with mages at the back. Lightning flashes flew around, causing chaos as teammates fled. This was a battle of gods and mortals, so stay away. Quickly, Sung Jin Woo realized that the demon rider was right. These were just little tricks. Although his dark soldiers had numerical advantage, his magic could only be maintained for a while. Although they could reproduce, constant destruction would reduce their numbers. But the biggest problem was the demon rider. He was clearly at a level above Sung Jin Woo. Even with the black might, it would be difficult to defeat him. The usual dark soldiers were not powerful enough to scratch him. Unless higher-level dark soldiers could be summoned, he stepped on a sword, and there was a loud thud as a body fell. The sword rolled a few times and stopped next to Kim Pan. Sung Jin Woo jumped straight at the demon rider, slashing down. The demon rider dodged guilely, intending to step on Sung Jin Woo's short sword, but it disappeared with a roar and reappeared in Sung Jin Woo's other hand, stabbing straight into the demon Kim's head. The demon rider calmly raised his weapon to block the blow. Sung Jin Woo transferred the weapon to his left hand and attacked again, but was still easily blocked by the demon rider. The demon rider kicked Sung Jin Woo in the knee, sending him flying several meters away before landing on the ground.